Welcome to the Empower El podcast. I'm your host, Vero, and I'm so excited to have you join me on this journey of empowerment and growth. This podcast is designed for ambitious, high-achieving women who are ready to break free from overwhelm and step into their power. Together, we'll explore practical strategies, share inspiring stories, and hear from experts who can help you navigate the challenges of balancing ambition and well-being. Whether you're looking to cultivate confidence, transform your mindset, enhance your leadership skills, or find harmony in your life, this is the place for you. Let's dive in. Welcome to the Empower Ed podcast. I'm so glad that you're here to learn about something that could shift the way that you lead and live. Today's conversation is all about the lessons that I have learned from my relationship. So take a deep breath and let's dive in. Okay, today's podcast is definitely a little bit different from what I typically talk about. And here's why this is important today. So if you are listening to the podcast on the day that it launches, which is August 26th, 2025, it is mine and my husband's anniversary of when we first started dating. And why am I talking about when we started dating versus when we got married, and why this year? So this year marks 17 years together, and I was 17 years old when we started dating. So that means that I have officially been in a relationship with my husband for half of my life. And you don't go through 17 years, half of a life in a relationship with the same person without learning some lessons and having some takeaways. And so I wanted to share with you 17 lessons and takeaways that I have learned in the last 17 years. So here we go. The first one is to find love where you least expect it. So I actually have known my husband since his family and I moved here when we were in grade 5, and we went to school together. And if you have listened to the episode that we have done together, you will see that we are very different people. And at school, he certainly was not someone that I had my eyes on, and he knows this, so it's okay to share this. But we were so different, and we're still very different, but we're a lot more alike in real life. So in school, he loved to be the class clown and the center of attention. And I just wanted to sit and listen to the teacher and do my homework and get 100% on all of my tests. So we definitely were not on the same page. And let's just say I wasn't a huge fan of him until I got to really know him, until we went to prom together as friends. But we started hanging out because we wanted to know each other a little bit by the time prom came around. And when I really got to know him is when my perception of him completely changed. So I definitely did not expect to find love in school, and certainly not with him at that time. So I'm obviously happy it happened, and really proud of the life that we have built together. But I think you can find love where you don't expect to find love. Number 2, and this one is a lot more emotional, but it's let people love you. So when we were getting to know each other and we were starting to hang out, and I could tell that he liked me, and I'll call it like at the beginning of our relationship, it was really hard for me to understand how someone could like me and eventually love me because I didn't love myself. And with not loving myself, I couldn't imagine how, not only how someone could love me, but how someone could love me just for me. So growing up, I associated getting love with achievement. So it felt to me, and not to be negative about my parents, they did a great job and they did the best that they knew how to. But I felt that I received more love when I achieved things and when I did good and when I did what people expected of me. And so when my husband loved me just for me, not because I was achieving things, it was really hard for me to accept that. And I kept thinking to myself that I wasn't good enough for him and that one day he would realize that and just leave. So I really struggled to let that love in and to be comfortable and confident in love and in my relationship. But he did a great job of showing me that I could be loved and also that I could love myself. It definitely took a lot of years for me to love myself. But it didn't take all that long for me to realize that he loved me and that I could trust that he loved me. Whew, all right, that was a bit of a more serious one. Number 3 is ask questions. So when you're falling in love and you're getting to know someone, you don't want to just stick to the surface level. So as you see them doing certain things or choosing certain things or saying certain things, ask a lot of questions and really dig deep to find out who they are and why they do what they do and why they think how they think. I really believe that the more questions you ask, the more you will truly, truly get to know someone. Number 4 is that a slow burn wins. So we'll often hear of like instant spark and love at first sight. And when you first meet someone, you get all these butterflies and these big feelings. And while that might work for some people, I think that when the climb and the high is really high, I think there's more chances for some lows. And I think you will get more of that roller coaster versus, in my opinion, I want someone in my life who is stable and where the relationship feels comfortable. Because long term, you don't want to be in a constant battle of highs and lows and a constant roller coaster of emotion. But if you're going to get a relationship that is stable, it's probably not going to feel electrifying the first time that you meet them. You might go on a first date and be like, oh yeah, it was fine. Like the conversation was good. Nothing bad happened, but I didn't feel that spark. I personally think that you should give that a chance because it might be the person who will bring you peace and contentment and who will treat you the way that you want to be treated. So if it starts like a friendship or a slow burn, I think you should give that a try. Number 5 is don't try to change them. As you get to know someone, you will probably find things that annoy you. I mean, you will for sure. You are two humans that are imperfect. And you're not going to love every single little thing that they do and every single little detail about them. But remember that you fell in love with who they are. And if you're constantly trying to change everything, then they're not going to be that same person. So if there's really big things that don't work for you, then maybe that's not your person. And if the little things annoy you, then I truly think that you should learn to embrace them and realize that this is who they are and that's who you fell in love with, and that that is okay, and that you don't need to change everything about them. And this goes into number 6, which is your way isn't necessarily the best way. So just because they do something differently than you, instead of trying to change it, maybe try to see why they do it that way and embrace their differences. You are not going to be the same person, and you are not going to do things the same way. And I think that's beautiful. But we're so built into our habits and our beliefs and our thoughts. And we often really believe that the way we do things is the best way. But try to remember that just because it's different doesn't mean it's wrong. Number 7 is learn how to be partners. So this is the less maybe lovey-dovey side of the relationship. But if you are going to be in a long-term relationship with someone, it's not just about the romance and the dates and the cute stuff. You are living a life together. You are probably leading a household together. You both have separate lives. You have your lives together. And there are discussions that need to be had about logistics and about planning and about the non-sexy stuff. But learn how to work well together when it comes to those things. Learn how to communicate in those scenarios and how to adjust and adapt and compromise and get things done so that you can move back to the more fun part of your relationship. Number 8 is don't let frustration build. Now, we've all been there. Your partner's doing little things that really annoy you, and you just say nothing. You keep it all inside because you think that they should know. And the more that they keep going, the more frustrated you get. Well, we're not mind readers, and letting that frustration build is not good for anyone. You are not going to feel good if you're completely frustrated, and your partner will probably notice that something is off about you, but they're not going to know what because you are not telling them. So when something frustrates you, you either have to learn to accept it and move on and not hold on to it, or say something and address it. But don't just let it build inside of you. Number 9 is to support each other through different seasons of life. So when you're with the same person for a really long time, you are going to go through seasons of life where maybe one of you is really thriving and the other one is struggling, and one is hustling for something and one feels lost, and you're not going to always be on the same highs and on the same lows. But that's okay. As long as you are able to read the situation of when your partner needs support and you can be there to support them, I think that is so important. We're not in a relationship and in a partnership to just face life by ourselves. So if you are the one who needs help, who is in a difficult season, let your partner know. And let them know what they can do to support you. And if it's the other way around, if you are the one where things are going well and your partner's trying to find their footing, then be there for them, support them, and ask them what they need from you. You're in this together. Number 10, I will quote what my husband said in our interview because I absolutely love it. It is don't sweat the small stuff. And I'll repeat what I had said too. If something's not going to be important in 10 years, then you should not spend 10 minutes on it. Like, accept and move on. All the little things that annoy you are not important. And if they are important, then address them. But if they're not, just learn to let go. You will be so much happier if you're not constantly looking for the little things that piss you off. These things are so small and so irrelevant and don't add happiness to your life. Number 11 is decide every day to be together. Listen, relationships can be work sometimes. When you're going through rougher patches, it's not always rainbows and butterflies. But if you've made a commitment to each other, I think you need to wake up every day and decide to be with that person and decide to keep the relationship going and to keep working on the relationship. Now, if you can't make that decision every day, then maybe you have bigger things to look at. But waking up every day and asking yourself if you still want to be in that relationship, I think really proves to yourself that all of the little things that I've been talking about are not important, that you can let them go. Because at the end of the day, you just want to be with your person. And it's a decision that you make. If you both decide every day that you're going to be together, then I think you can make it through anything. Number 12 is that one of you is not more important than the other. Now, this is something that I have somewhat struggled with, especially at the beginning of our relationship, when my husband used to do things for himself that meant that he wasn't with me. Sometimes I felt like he didn't care, but that was not it at all. Saying that meant that my feelings and my emotions were more important than his, because he was taking care of himself and I somehow wasn't okay with that. And when you think about it that way, you wouldn't want your person to not do what they want to do. So you have to see the bigger picture. The same way that I always tell you that saying saying yes to something means that you're saying no to something else, and that the no that you're saying no to is probably you. Well, the same applies to them. You also want them to say yes to themselves. And if they say yes to themselves, they might be saying no to you. But you're not more important than them, and they are not more important than you. You both deserve to do the things that you want to do, and you both deserve to put yourself first and to feel important. Number 13 is choose the person that you can sit in silence with. Yes, a relationship can be fun and exciting, and you can go on adventures. But in a long-term relationship, there's going to be a lot of days where you're just going through your routine, going through the motion. There's not a ton happening. And if you're not with someone who you're so comfortable with and that you don't need to constantly be entertaining, then you might start to find it a lot more difficult. I, as an introvert, love to be by myself, love to be in silence, love to just sit and watch TV. And I love that I can do that with my husband. Honestly, doing nothing with him is one of my favorite things to do. So when you find someone that you're comfortable doing nothing with, make sure you keep them. Number 14 is learn to let go. I talked about it a lot already in some of the different points, so I will leave it at that. Learn to let go. Number 15 is I always love you, but I don't always like you. Have you ever had that feeling where maybe you're really frustrated with your partner and you don't really like them in this moment? But the love is always there. and you know that you always love them. This is actually something that we say to each other sometimes. Because when you're frustrated at one another, sometimes you can feel like you're losing touch, or maybe you're losing love, or where is this going? And when one of us just says, I love you, but I don't like you right now, honestly, it kind of breaks the tension and it makes us laugh. It makes us realize that, yes, there's something frustrating going on right now, but it also gives us the reassurance that we will always love each other. We're not going anywhere. We'll figure this out and we will be good. Number 16 is winning isn't a thing. If you are someone who wants to win in arguments with your partner, you are losing. Because you are a team. And that means that if one of you is winning, the other one is losing. And if one of you is losing, the team is not winning. Let me say that again. If one of you is winning, the other one is losing. And if one of you is losing, the team is not winning. So don't try to win. The point with your life partner is not to win. It is to see each other's perspective. It is to understand each other. It is to communicate. It is maybe to compromise, to come to an understanding. But do not try to win. Winning in a long-term partnership is a losing game. And last but not least, number 17 is have fun together. When you started your relationship, you probably did a ton of fun things. And as time goes on and as you're just living your normal life, you sometimes lose the aspect of fun. But having fun together brings out that silliness and that childlike behavior again, and that feeling of when you first fell in love. So remember to keep having fun together. Now, if you're someone like me who's not really spontaneous, you might have to be very intentional about this and schedule it and make sure that it happens. But either way, just make sure that you come back to how it all started and to have fun. Okay, those were my 17 takeaways. I really hope that you enjoyed this episode. I know it was really different from what I typically do, but I just really wanted to take a pause and talk about this milestone. And I think that relationships are so important. Whether you are in a romantic relationship or not, we all have key relationships in our lives. So let me know what you thought of today's episode and what lessons you have learned from relationships. DM me at Vero_Normando or Empower_L. I would love to hear you. So remember to keep choosing yourself, your vision, and your values. That is real power. I hope you have an amazing day, and I will see you in the next episode. Thank you for tuning into the Empower L podcast. I hope today's episode inspired you and gave you practical insights to help you navigate your journey as an ambitious, high-achieving woman. Remember, every step you take towards building your confidence and embracing your full potential is a step closer to creating the life you truly desire. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a moment to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast on your favorite platform. Your support helps us reach more women who are ready to step into their power and live their best lives. Don't forget to join our community on social media for more resources, tips, and inspiration. Until next time, lead with power and live with wellness. You are unstoppable.